Alright, so we're going up against Dartagnan. We had to go for this pack. I guess it's not the best pack, but at the same time, I don't really mind it that much. I think it's pretty decent. Because you're gonna need Mustangs anyways. Almost always, I think. Um, so we'll just start, I guess, with start with two arc lights. Two hounds could be good as well. We'll end up selling out of these later. It's not ideal. This is, this is pretty much not the greatest starting pack, I guess, but it really could be a lot worse. Like you could start with you could start with like two sabers or something, which in my opinion would be way worse. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so he's kind of vulnerable to storms, but we're not going to go storms. We're going to go for our trademark sledgehammer spam. We can build. Wow. So we might even want to keep this. All our defenses are actually doing a lot, so not sure about selling the defenses quite yet. Missile. Don't need that. Alright, so question is, do we sell out of this now? I think it's still worth selling out of because not guaranteed to get value later. Guess we could go for this. Guess we can go for this. Right? Sells the wall, interestingly. Keeps this for another round. So, since he's selling out of this super early, I'm wondering if this is, we should be starting to sell every game super early. Because, if whatever the high level opponents at 2360 are doing, I think, we could all learn from that, right? My original thought was we keep the turrets around for one round, see which one's good, and then start selling. But I'm also okay with selling right away. I don't mind all our plays so far. Going for the arc light seems to be quite good. Really hope that we can like at least kill one of these heavier units, because we did spend 2 missiles, which might have been a mistake. Since now I really want to missile the tarantula. Okay, this would be okay. At least we got the spider. I want to missile the phoenix now. So I could have just used one, but I was trying to win the round. Marksman is going to be good into phoenixes. And at this point, I don't know if we need to. I don't know if we should sell this right away. We want to. Just see how much money we have. Okay, we can go for another tank, or we could click Mech Rage. Worth it. It's worth it for clicking Mech Rage, I think. The only question is it better to go for Mech Rage or for the other tank, or new tank? It's hard to say. Okay, instantly into Void Eyes. This is good, because I like to see him selling stuff. I feel like the sabers are, they're still halfway decent into the sledges, so I'm happy to see him selling out of the saber. especially since this one's gonna level next round. He's gonna sell out of it. Okay, so this is the Void Eye. This is the build that we said could be the best build in the meta. It's the Void Eye spider build. However, we do have a way to deal with this. The way we deal with this is to go for Elite Recruit. And Elite Recruit still beats this. So that'll be on round 5. Okay, what we need is some chaff in front because this is super exposed, our units. By the time the chaff line gets through, there's only one pack remaining. That's not good. Okay, we're gonna lose another round pretty hard. This is not ideal, but it is to be expected. But it's definitely not ideal. Mid-range Phoenix heavy armor. Could go for this. We need some chaff right away. Start selling out of this. This can't be that useful now. I mean, we could also just go for range right away. I think we might need it. Then we could just go for the chaff here. We will need something in front though for the missile. That's the problem. Like, this is just such a juicy missile target. I'm gonna have to have 2. I'm gonna have to have something here. We're gonna have to have something like here. You can't get that much value. I guess you could still get value from this. But you have a missile here and then probably like a missile around here. I think we could probably do like this missile first. I mean this fang first. That being said, I wonder if you even want the fang. Don't you want a crawler instead? All right, let's go for a missile of our own. Okay. Missile does come down. Thankfully we put down the crawler, thankfully. We'll need more crawlers here to support. The reason why I use the crawler now instead of the fang is because fang's gonna die anyways. There's more units in the crawler pack, and the crawler will run forward, which is good for a delayed missile. You have to be careful of the delayed missile. Okay, unfortunately, we're not able to win a round, but things are starting to equalize, let's say. Smoke bomb's going to be really good. And so would the EMP blast. I think the smoke bomb is what we go for. We will need a shield for our own version of this. Guess we could go for something like this here. And maybe like this. We are weak here. We need to keep that in mind. So it might be worth putting down something there. Let's like not forget to shield first here though. Okay. I think we just need more tanks. Just to extend the line and to also cover our weak spot here. Do we need a missile or should we just go speed? I think speed is good. shields, but it's not good enough. Some of this is gonna get through. That being said, it's partially on his side. It's partially on our side, but it's really around the same for his side. I don't know if we can break the shield in time. Nope. We're gonna need some kind of chaff here. We're losing here too quick. We might get a free tower though. That would be kind of huge. Do we go for AP next, or what is our play? Surprisingly, we're gonna win this round, I think. Might even want to consider a level on the tower. And I think this is the start of the comeback. Okay, Photon is kind of interesting. Doesn't do that much though. We just skip. Okay, we will need more crawlers. So if he wants a missile here, can't really do it. He's gonna hit the crawler. If he wants a missile here, he can. So we're gonna need something for this. Now he can't really get too much value from any missiles on this side. I think we want to continue building more. Maybe we can elite recruit? Because surely we don't need, well, this could still be useful. Don't have that much money for elite recruit, so we might just continue to play like this. Don't know if we need this though. I think it might be good to start double stacking our tank line. Probably go for, I think we just go for this and a missile somewhere. Yeah, I think I want to keep this. This is still doing something. Hacker time. Okay, so now I feel like he's lost the game because he's transitioning into a very, very risky unit. Elite recruiting them as well. What is this? Is that the arc light? Okay, we could sell the arc light. Yeah, I feel like our chances of winning are, at this point, 90%. Because look at this. This just does not work. This is really bad. So never go hacker, I think. Okay, storms obviously are good, but we don't need them. We don't need them. We just need to worry about the cheese. So there's not much. The wasps are kind of good for us, I think. Right? Now we just play this carefully. This is going to be the last round most likely. Gotta worry about something coming from here, but it's not a huge worry. You sell this. I think it's just like we need to missile him, of course. I think it's just more crawlers, isn't it? I'm not worried about this side. Okay, nothing here. Guess I don't think this hacker is in the greatest position. Does he even have anti-air at this point? Barely. Yeah, this is gonna be this is sad to watch for the opponent. Because it's just this tank is just, you know, it's so strong that it's not even fair, honestly. Like if we played other comps, we would lose to a player this caliber. But because we play this tank comp, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like taking candy from a baby. It doesn't even feel fair how strong this is. So good thing we didn't click the AP. I guess we didn't need it. And the main reason that we were pretty confident, it was the first thing was selling out of the sabers. Not sure if you necessarily want to sell out of something that's not doing bad. The Void Eye with Guard Shot is likely not good into something that doesn't have the range, right? Because the range isn't there. It's only, you know, he needs to click range first. I think. I don't think it's Charge Shot first. Not sure. Usually I've seen suppression shot, then range enhancement. I've never seen charge shot first. He didn't get the okay. He got the HE on the tarantulas, so that was good. And then whenever you see this hacker transition, it just means that like they're basically trying to throw the game, where they're going for a gut shot, and the hacker gut shot really never works. I think it might work if we have tarantulas and stuff ourselves, but I don't think you want to go hacker into this, honestly, because every single time we've been able to win pretty easily. So yeah, this is starting with a pretty crappy pack. Blues formation was a nice attempt at the gut shot, but you know, we have too many sledges and the Mustangs as well. Combined with the Wasp, it wasn't really that scary. So yeah, we started with a arguably a really crappy pack with a lot of HP, but as I said, I don't think it's that bad because you always need the Mustangs. You always need the crawler, right? It's just that you have to go into temporary arc lights and just sell them. And we did get, you know, drops that protected us against anti-air, such as the marksman. And, you know, our flanks couldn't really be cheesed from some kind of air unit because of the Mustang. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't look good for us for a moment there in the early game, but once we won that first round, it just snowballs. All right, so we're gonna take a look at what the opponent maybe could have done better. So I highly recommend that you do not go for hacker. If you think you're like if you think you're falling behind, I don't think you can just go hacker and all of a sudden just win. We haven't gone hacker ourselves in probably like hundreds of games, so maybe we don't know and that much about hackers. So the first thing is probably we need to click range here. And probably just need to get some more of these, maybe? Like maybe get HE first, since the chaff is kind of a problem. And then just go more into these Void Eyes. It's probably what I would do. Probably time to sell this. And let's go for the extra 100 range. Okay, that's a pretty nice missile. See, that's what is causing a lot of problems. That missile is causing huge problems. Um, so let's see what happens here. This side we're losing really bad. And even this side we're still losing. I think it's because of the charge shot. I think the charge maybe it was a misclick, but it just could be the charge shot is the nail in the coffin here. Um, so why don't we just put a shield down here? Still kind of think we need range. Maybe we don't need HE on the tarantula. Is loose formation something that we can click now? Okay. Just don't think we have that many plays anyways. Just very, very few options we have left here. The sledges are outranging the Void Eyes. So perhaps the suppression shot is better. Not sure. Let's see what's going on here. The smoke is kind of a problem, isn't it? So this is really bad. So for some reason, he's not able to win anymore. What about transitioning? I mean, I think this is not, you don't want to transition, but let's say you want, let's say you're running out of options here, and you're just gonna transition to some kind of Vulcan with Scorch, maybe. He doesn't run Scorch, interestingly. So I think that's the interesting. Goes for Ignite, best partner. Goes for Incendiary Bomb over Scorch. Right. So let's just see what happens if we add in 3 Vulcans. Guess we still have the shield here, so can't necessarily. Okay, we could still add in the extra Vulcan. Vulcan should do really well into our setup here. It's kind of redundant though, already having the Tarantulas. Now the Void Eyes are kind of walking in front. The range is pretty laughable. If it weren't for the tower debuff, I don't know. Maybe. Doesn't look likely though. Doesn't look that likely. Okay. So I'm thinking somehow he's already lost the game here for some reason. Which just shows how strong. I think he lost the game for going charge shot. I think he needed the range, maybe. All right, so the last round. Let's see if there's some kind of cheese available. So let's say this is kind of interesting. Would this do anything? Would this do anything is the question. I don't think so, but maybe. He clicks HE. Need a shield, I think. We just go more hackers and just like kind of try to overpower this one side. Just try to multi-hack everything. Multi-hack is kind of interesting. This multi-hack is kind of interesting. All of a sudden, it's like a whole pack is hacked. Wait a second. Is this the answer? Multi-hack? Kind of looks like... Okay, it's kind of not enough, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely not enough. Okay. So this tells me that we need to have some kind of Titan in order to win here. So mountain plating is kind of good. Mountain plating I know is kind of good, I think. Because the damage of these tanks are not like... I guess they are over 700. Why don't we just try... I mean, a level 2 mountain we should be able to tank everything. If we have the money for the plating, which we do. There's no position for it, so we just have to put it here. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so we're tanking 1/3 of the army. So I'm not sure if that's good enough. Ideally, you want it here. I feel like this side's gonna crumble. Now, our anti-air is kind of limited, but it should be safe behind this mountain. I think we probably win by 1 mountain. Obviously, I think, you know, in the next round you'd have to beacon the mountain backwards, go for another cheese. Factory with HE with a beacon feels really good here. I think a level 1 factory is kind of a little bit too weak now. So I'm not sure if we even have the money for the for this. Okay, we got the HE, so no money for a beacon. Let's just see what happens here. The HE is kind of good into the sledges because it splashes multiple units. Although armor could be arguably better. Now the HP buff is going to be, you know, it's going to be a thing, and looks like the factory did nothing. So what if we try to go for something? I mean, again, everything we're doing right now is just pure desperation. I think the best thing to do is just leave the game or something, because I don't think there's any way to come back from this. But we're just seeing potential options here. The Abyss, you know, I don't know about the Abyss. I mean, Abyss with, if you go Wreckage Recycling, perhaps you can get the Abyss to work here. Um, imagine it should be like here, and then go for the range. I don't know. So the idea is that it's going to heal up from the sledges so quick that despite there being a lot of DPS onto it, it just won't die. Because as the sledges, you know, it's gonna get a lot of healing from the sledges, right? It's eating these shots. As long as it can connect the sledges, it's gonna be healing up fine. Okay, this is quite good. Now we're in some trouble. Now we're in huge trouble. You see, like it's almost still healing up. You know, it almost healed up there. Um. So yeah, I'm running out of options here. We can try a level 1 factory with a beacon, the classic round 5 factory from the corner. Doesn't need to be necessarily from the corner. It could just go in like this easily. And well, you probably want. I mean, probably want HE. You probably want armor. Okay, can't afford anything. Maybe just go for some chaff as a distraction. I kind of doubt that this is gonna work here. Guess we just missile something like this in case there's crawlers coming in. This used to be the most powerful move you could do on round 5, and it's wait. This is kind of getting in there. It's kind of getting in. Wait a second. But you know, after all the nerfs, you know, this is okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's still the it's still the corner factory here. Let's see how much damage we do. This could be, this, you know, if this could be borderline fatal, and you know, if we're down to 1500, I mean, that could be the end of the game for us. And it wasn't that hard to pull off. Um, yeah, that's kind of scary. That's really scary. Um, I want to know if I could do. Now we're at 2000, so he can't quite do this and kill us right away. But there is a good chance that once the factory levels up the next round, you know, we could be in trouble. Like there is things he can do, like beacon the factory backwards, or there's you know, if you've been watching our videos in the past where we played the factory, you know that there's a lot of potential shenanigans you can do. So yeah. All right, let's say we go for Like just a couple missiles. Um, Alright, let's see if this is a slightly better result. This is kind of not good. We don't want to get our factory slowed. I think this automatically makes this strategy not really work, because it's just going to insta-die. So we need to be able to block this missile. Yep. Don't think the factory did enough there. So why don't we try to intercept that missile and then just go in with the factory. Okay. Um, Still do some missiles. Not sure if the missile there makes sense. Missile cure might make sense, but this would be probably better. But if we want to get into the units, maybe we need a missile wall. This hacker is walking with us. That's not part of the that's not what we intended to do. So that could be a problem. All right. Factory is getting low, but it just escapes with a sliver of health. But unfortunately, the wasps clean it up, so we're not going to be able to do maximum damage. But still, that was a more aggressive angle to come in with the factory. If the factory lived, that would be the most amount of damage. But because it died, we're going to do less damage. So yeah, I think this game was still salvageable, and it's interesting to see that the factory beaconed into the tower with HE is still kind of like the best counter for into this, even though it got nerfed. Now, of course, this is the weak side. There's nothing here, right? But that's exactly why you should go in from the weak side. So obviously, if we click AP, then this is gonna the factory's gonna die. But the problem is if you die to the factory, because in order for us to get the tanks to the point where we're double teched with this many deployments, um, we end up losing half of our HP or more every game. Not every game, but quite often. So we are in the danger zone to get finished by a factory actually quite often. So um, I don't know. It's something that now that we've learned, we need to take this into consideration because this is the real counter, not the hacker, right? The hacker was really bad. I would say even if we go back around and we look at that hacker round again, the factory should have been deployed on this round. So it's got a ton of health. We're basically at 2k. So the factory would spell the end, would almost spell the end of us. Um, so go for the factory. And this is why we play the sledge now, because the factory is no longer a threat at at a certain stage of the game. We are allowed to play factory. Still kind of like this angle. Um, I don't know. This is a bit more risky, but it does more damage. We could try both. Right. We're gonna need to sell something. I think the Phoenix probably gets sold. Okay. We can even have a chaff along with this. Maybe. Yeah, we're gonna need a missile here because we don't want to get a shield here. We don't want to get kind of probably missile this. Okay, so is this factory going to be able to get in there? It's not looking bad. Now, this is really the weak part of the sledge. You see, we've got so many units on the factory, but the factory just tanks everything. Right? The factory is so good into sledges that it's not even funny. As a sledge player, I'm gonna say finally, thank God they nerfed the factory because now, you know, I mean, because this would have been this comes out one round before, then all of a sudden you almost have to abandon the sledges. I mean, I guess AP could work, EMP could work, but I wouldn't want to play sledges into this, right? Because this is kind of scary. And imagine if everything locks on to the sledge, and and then there's a couple crawlers coming in. Even a melter probably is not going to work because the crawlers are all the sledges are locked up on the factory, and the crawlers are just running in. So yeah, I would say instead of the hacker, go for the war factory if you're having some if you see this.